What's up, Virgo, and welcome to your August 2020 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kaylee Jean, and welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing month so far in July, and your season is coming up, so that's always really exciting. Happy birthday to those of you early Virgo suns who have August birthdays. I wanted to jump right into your messages because there were a lot of things coming through, but I always like to just say you can use these readings for your sun, moon, or your rising sun, and my readings are aimed at creators answering the types of questions and tapping into the themes that entrepreneurs, self-employed people, as well as spiritual seekers have on their mind. So that's what my channel is all about. Let's go ahead and get into your messages. So while I was tuning in for you for the month of August, I actually got this image of, it feels like some kind of a chain almost, not in a bad way. It's like a succession of people in a way. So I'm not sure if you are linked at all to your ancestors, or if you've been thinking about that type of work, if you've done any ancestor work or healing ancestral trauma, or thinking about the past and trying to understand your history or understand your family history or the history of your country, or wherever like you feel your focus is being placed on in terms of origins. I feel like there's a strong emphasis in kind of trying to understand things in the past and seeing kind of where things come from, like in your life on a personal level and perhaps also on a global level. There's just a sense of really wanting to like take a step back and look at the overarching patterns of life. And perhaps some of you, like I said, maybe tapping into your ancestors, or maybe someone that you would call like a spiritual ancestor, like, you know, somebody who was a teacher of a particular line of healers or magicians, or people that you are connected to through a craft, or your profession even. Like if you're a doctor, you could be thinking about Hippocrates or something along those lines. You kind of get what I mean. It's like thinking about these patterns that run through humanity. So it's a very deep message, but there was also this feeling of that came along with that of like humbleness. And it's really interesting. This must be such a specific reading for someone, but I feel like there's this real humbleness, and there's a sense of accepting whatever your limitations are, Virgo, and really working within that. Like it's almost this sense of like acknowledging inner law, like your internal spiritual law of your conscience. Like that's what it feels like, is there's this powerful alignment happening within you where it's not necessarily like a happy thing or a sad thing. It feels very neutral. It feels very neutral and very much about like being in your center. So take that for what it's worth. It was a very powerful meditation for me, and I hope this is helpful for someone out there. Now let's take a look at your cards. Virgo, clear living guidance for Virgo. Clear living guidance for Virgo. Okay. Virgo. So I was just seeing the white flower on the Fool card, which has a lot to do with purity and innocence. It it's on the Fool card to represent kind of just like almost pure spirit energy in a way. So there's something about that. There's something about like really tapping into yourself. It's actually like the more that I tune into it, it feels exciting because it's like you're letting that divine spark lead. And that's what the spirit relishes. That's what the spirit came into physical manifestation for. So when the spirit gets to lead, it's like you're really going on an adventure. So it's really interesting. Wow, so we've got your path as the frog and the zebra. Oh, Virgo, this is good. This is really good. So your path card with the frog. One of the things that this does really speak to very, very strongly for you, Virgo, is detoxification. So I want you to, as we go into August, and you know, we could be going into your birthday season if you are a Virgo sun, but as we go into this part of the year where like your astrology is activated, whether you're a sun, rising, or a moon Virgo, there's going to be important points, you know, in your Virgo season, which is again coming up in just a few weeks, that are going to be activating parts of you on powerful levels. It's like a recharge, basically, of your energy. So when you have the frog card as your path, I think it's important to really detox anything that is harsh on you. Virgo, oh, I'm gonna cry. I feel like this is about things that are just too harsh on you. I mean, what are you engaging in on a daily basis? Like, are you taking in media that is causing a fear state, like a trauma loop within you? Are you getting mean comments from people, or are you watching scary movies because somebody that you live with likes to watch them, but it's just like, ooh, you know, like it doesn't make you feel good? I feel like this is about honoring like your sensitivity and really just finding ways to make your life feel more wholesome, you know, feel more like it's actually possible for you to not hang on to negative energy and not bombard yourself with negative energy. The zebra card is the influence, so this is still about self-expression for you this month, and it is still about, you know, owning your weirdness and your eccentricity and being playful, which is all the things that a zebra personality energy is about. But I think that this is really about you kind of being a little bit more wild, while at the same time regularly detoxing and minding your auric field, right? Like finding ways that you're not, you know, engaging with things that make you feel emotionally like burdened or freaked out or scared or put you in a fight or flight response. It's like you got to find that like fine line between self-expression and doing things and challenging yourself, but at the same time making sure that you have some daily practices. Like even for me, I am doing the sphere of protection at the moment, and it just feels so good to create that nice, nurturing, clear bubble around me every day, that where I release and banish any imbalances in my physical body and in my etheric body. That's a huge thing for me right now that has really helped me to do some of the things that I'm doing currently. So definitely just watch your sensitivity, be willing to, you know, stop things that are toxic for you, and maybe just drink a little bit more water or eat better food and just take good care of your body. Okay, let's take a look at your tarot cards. So you've got the moon, right, right at that point that we have that Aquarius moon, which is really interesting. Then we have the Page of Wands, Queen of Swords, and the World. We've got the Ten of Swords and the Three of Cups, and we have the Empress, and we have Temperance. Okay. So it's interesting because the moon card is showing up right around this time that we have the Aquarius full moon, which I did mention just now. But this is a really like big, bright full moon card, right? Like this is pretty obviously referring to that full moon, which is happening for you in your 6th house of health, which can also relate to imbalances, right? So this moon card with the Page of Page of Wands, I'm sorry, I feel is really speaking to a couple of things. First of all, this full moon in Aquarius could potentially bring some health questions to light in your life. So you might get some clarity about your health, or you might realize the importance of taking care of your health in some way. There could be some hormonal things because the moon represents cycles and it represents going out into unknown experiences, which can also relate again to, the fight or flight response, and times in our lives when we feel like more sensitive because we are being barraged with energies that are just a little bit heavy at times. So the moon card can be a little bit of a difficult energy sometimes when it shows up, but it can also be a very creative energy. So I want you to really think about, especially when it comes up with the Page of Wands, I would say some of you, there is this powerful, like fertile energy in your life, whether that's literally about the physical body, because it's a 6th house moon symbolically for you, or if it's about your creativity in more of an intellectual way. But you could literally be, some of you could be, if you've been trying to get pregnant, you could have a potential conception because the Page of Wands shows the masculine energy, and then the moon is a very feminine energy, showing, obviously we've got like more feminine symbolism and then we have more masculine symbolism. So there could be, for some of you, if you're trying to conceive or something like that, that could be an option. Some of you, if that's not what you want to be careful, obviously. And then, in regardless of all of that, I do see the potential for some kind of new creative project becoming a bigger part of your life. And it's unknown, it's an unknown thing, but maybe it makes you feel safer in some way, Virgo. Like maybe it allows you to focus more on your health, focus more on the things that matter to you in your life. Like the idea, or like the potential, what's the word? The potential example that's coming to my mind is like if you were to quit a job in order to start working on something that's more behind the scenes, maybe something creative like writing, or maybe working on something organizational, or just something that it has less hours, perhaps something that's more flexible for you. It just feels like you're kind of making some adjustments based on potentially like your physical health or just your creative inspirations at this time in your life. So it looks really good, and I encourage you to really think about whatever those changes are that you feel you need to make. It's really important that you just allow yourself to do that. Now, the Queen of Swords and the World are coming up in the 2nd week of August, and this is very much an energy of clarity, I want to say, with the Queen of Swords. This feels to me like sticking to your guns, honestly, Virgo, like sticking to your truth and using your voice. And one of the things that this actually makes me think of is like so there's I forget what part of psychology it comes from, but essentially there is one of these kind of known axioms in psychology about how our willingness to speak up about our thoughts and our opinions and our views about things in the world and really back ourselves up, that is that willingness is a direct reflection of how much we value ourselves and how much we love ourselves in a lot of ways. And not in every situation, it's not exactly the same, obviously, because there can be different circumstances that affect our willingness to speak our truth on something. But in general, it is kind of thought that the more willing we are to speak our truth and stand by ourselves and not cave to the demands of the world or the expectations of the world, to share basically unpopular opinions or to be just true to ourselves, even in a personal one-on-one relationship, the degree to which we're willing to do that often correlates with the degree to which we really genuinely love and value ourselves. So just remember that, Virgo, if you are speaking up on something in the second week of August, that is coming from a place of self-love. Speaking your truth, even if other people are going to disagree with you, or they're going to hate you, or they're going to break up with you, or whatever, that really is an act of radical self-love and radical rebellion. That is truly what it means to be in the world, but not of the world. That is what that phrase means, is being true to your truth, even when the world expects you to do something different, or the outside people, expect you to do something different. So being in the world but not of the world is, whoa, that's maybe got to be the title of your guys' reading, because that is really powerful. And I see you doing that, and I see actually that it's part of your growth. It's a completion of a stage of your growth, Virgo. So applause to you on that. The Three of Cups and the Ten of Swords are coming up in the third week of August, which is when we have the new moon in Leo, which for you is happening in your 12th house. So there can be some things coming to the surface that you may or may not be aware of. It could have to do with friendships and social circles, because you have the Three of Cups and you have the Ten of Swords. So there could be like some issues, I want to say, or misunderstandings potentially with a friend group or a friend circle. And the Ten of Swords is kind of that, I want to say it's kind of reminding me of like what came through in the meditation about kind of like accepting your own limitations and obeying inner law, right? Like inner law is different from outer law, in the sense that outer law can be, it's what we all agree on. It's our, consensual participation in lawful, organized society. But inner law is our spiritual law. It's our conscience. Basically, it's our inner truth. And obeying that inner voice is not always easy. But when we see the Ten of Swords, it's kind of like this surrender to that. It's saying like, you know what, I'm not going to fight a battle with myself anymore. I'm just going to be doing my thing. I'm just going to let my freak flag fly, or I'm just going to let my truth be enough. And that's the Three of Cups as well, is, you could actually surprisingly make new connections as a result of whatever this represents. That like letting go or that surrender can often lead to, a celebration of some kind. But the other way of looking at this is that it could also, break off some connections here, But again, it's not about the outer stuff. It's about you being right with yourself. It's about you really looking within yourself and making that your biggest priority. So the Empress card and the Temperance card are coming up at the end of the month. So as the sun moves into your sign, we have the Empress, which is absolutely a Virgoan energy to me. And it feels very much, just in alignment with your sign. The Temperance card as well, there's a sense of real flow and abundance and really getting into your groove again at the end of August. So I want to say here that it's going to be at the end of the month, the way that you're going to probably be looking at this is more along the lines of like getting into a flow, or kind of it's a decidedly feminine pair here, even though you could argue that the Temperance angel is sort of not really masculine or feminine. When you put it with the Empress, it's definitely feeling like it's more of a flow energy. It's more of an energy of kind of being easy about things, not passive, but just aligned with the rhythm of life. So you just, as things happen, you're just kind of vibing with it, and you're just kind of going along the waves. And I think that you're going to actually find, you know, some really beautiful abundance as well coming into your life as a result of that kind of flow state that you're in. So it looks really, really good. And let's take a look at your Bob Ross message. He says, "We just show you how, but you make the decisions. When you have this much power, you have to make big decisions." Aw, this is really weird. This feels to me like it's a message from someone's spirit guides, honestly. Like our collective ancestors in spirit and our collective spiritual guides, calling on that wisdom coming from benevolent spirits. I think there's something here about that, and about, you know, we just show you how, but you make the decisions. I think that's really sweet. Yeah, spirit and working with spirit can show you the potentials, just like a tarot reading can show us some potential energies and trends, but it's really up to us how we want to move forward. So this is really a beautiful message, though. Virgo, whoa, you got taking risks. Somebody else got this too. So this is about taking risks. It's about, again, kind of being wild, putting yourself out there, but at the same time, you know, finding your sweet spot where you're not doing that too much, or you're not putting yourself in, you know, too much of difficulty, or something that's going to be too stressful on you, which is a fraud, like taking on too much, basically. You want to avoid that, and have some daily practices that you do for your spiritual cleansing, protection, calling upon your deities, spirit guides, you know, whoever you work with. That is something that's going to be, you know, really helpful to you in terms of managing the day-to-day stress levels that you're dealing with, like we all are. But taking risks is still important. And really, I feel like it's about flying, Virgo. It's about like soaring and feeling that that you are supported. You know, there's a Bob Marley song, actually, the lyrics just came into my mind just now. I think he says, my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. That, ooh, I just got chills. That is what this is. You know, it's about really feeling that your physical vessel is being made strong by connecting to divinity. So you can do and accomplish a lot more than you think, Virgo, because you are being made strong by the Almighty. You are being made strong by Spirit. You know, if that's what you're doing, if that's what you're aligning yourself with, you're being supported in that. So I hope that's helpful to you and encourages you to take some, you know, well thought out risks that make sense to you. And I hope you have an amazing month in August. Take care of yourselves. You can always leave me a comment if you want to say thank you or let me know your thoughts. You can leave me a little heart emoji if you just want to let me know you're still with me and that you enjoyed the reading. And you can give this video a thumbs up. All of those things are very supportive to my channel. I'll put links to these decks below in the show more section, and also the link to donate any amount to support my channel if that's something that you want to do. Obviously not required, but very, very helpful as well. Sending you so much love, Virgo. Take care of yourself, stay safe, and I will talk to you next time.